This conference will now be recorded.
14 after 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. So today is August 20. So from here after, I hope we do not get too many holidays. August 20. So last class we were discussing about flow action, okay, and flow action and flow. So far, what are we done with? Okay, mainly we are done with three things, three concepts. First one, okay, so far we are done with only these three concepts. First one, application, okay, creation, practical and theory, okay, creation. Second one, OOPS concepts. Third one, creating user interface. I'll explain you this user interface what we have created in the last class by going into our application. Okay, what is our application? devimpl@lic.com password rules. Okay, so see here now. I will tell you about the studios and all. I did not tell you. We are at the very beginning of learning process. Okay, transaction model wise, we are done with only two sections of property section, flow action. Okay, that is very simple. Yeah, please mute this person. Mute. Okay, I'll tell you. See here. Last two classes, what have we done? That is, we have learned about properties. We have learned about what? Properties. We have seen how to create properties in which class? Organization class. In which class? Organization class. And we have learned about how to create a section. Section means what? User interface. Section in Pega is called as UI, user interface. This is UI. It's a simple drag and drop we have done. How did we do this? Simple drag and drop. Yes or no? So we created properties, then we created section, we drag and dropped all the properties into section so that we got one appearance, one view we got. View means user interface we got like this. So we have done a process of creating user interface screen. You are an application developer. By learning Pega, you are an application developer where you work on developing user interface, you work on developing business logic, you work on developing database things like reports or queries are. But only thing is, you are not going to write any coding for any of this. UI, business logic, database, you will never write any queries, you will never write any code, you will never write anything like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but still you do all these things in Pega. That's the advantage of Pega. So you are now going to, okay, you are now going to learn about this UI and further details. So after section is completed, see, in the section, we did not add any buttons. Submit button, like one screen is displayed, Facebook registration form. After you enter all the details, you'll click on sign up button now, but we did not put that sign up button. Pega will provide default buttons for submitting the user interface. That will be provided when you embed your section UI rule into another rule. Another rule type is flow action. What is another rule type? Flow action. This is flow action now. Understand clear everyone? So this flow action combined with section. Section is UI. Flow action combined with section will give you UI plus buttons. UI plus what? Buttons. I will show you. Now, this flow action you will embed into flow. Flow action you will embed where? Flow. Flow action you will embed into flow. Actions. Run this. See, you designed only this part of UI. This part of UI. You did not add any buttons in the UI. But at runtime, you are getting button now. Submit button, register or submit, save, cancel. These buttons are coming at runtime. How come? These are provided by Flow Action because your UI is embedded into Flow Action. That is adding action button. Flow Action is adding what? Action button to UI. You just click on register. Click on register. After you enter the data, data will get stored into table. That's what we have seen. That's what we have seen. But where it is getting stored into which table, that and all we did not see. How data is going from PRPC environment to database, we do not know. See, by last class, okay, okay, give me 1 minute. In class grouping at night. Okay, so in the last class, what did we learn is only designing or creating a screen and making it part of the flow or process. You call it as flow or process. And execution wise, we have experience to see the how the user interface screen that we created is displayed and accepting the data and allowing you to submit. So last class, what we have seen is last classes we experienced to learn about how to create UI screen, how to make it part of flow. Flow means what? Transaction model. Flow means transaction model. Execution of flow. Execution of flow. Execution of flow plus what? Execution of flow to make transaction, comma, okay. Enter the data in form. Form means what? UI, and submit. All this we have experienced. Only transaction related we have. That means here whatever we learn, everything is created by us only. In the last class, that UI related sessions, we experienced to do all those by practicing everything created by us. Transaction model we designed, section we designed, properties we created, flow action we created, everything we created only. Okay, that is okay. Now Pega is not about learning to create rules by you, and not only using the OOTB rules provided by Pega, but also learning to understand its architecture model. What is the architecture of Pega rules process commander environment? What is the architecture of Pega rules process commander environment? Why you should learn that? See, if I learn how to design transaction models, isn't it fair enough? Why should I learn architecture? I will tell you. See, you just imagine about civil engineering constructions. There are two persons involved mainly. Let's say one person is an architect who will have clear idea, who will design the design how the construction should be done, who will have clear idea about each component of that particular building, that construction. Second person is a worker, who knows how to construct, but he doesn't know actual plan everything. He doesn't clearly know. Suppose if you call a worker and say, please build this wall from this place, this site, he will build. He doesn't ask you about construction architecture. He doesn't need it, because you are saying to construct this wall, he will construct. You are saying to construct the roof, he will construct the roof. He doesn't need to know about architecture. But there is another person called architect who knows about every brick of the building. Yes or no? Clearly he knows what is where. Everything he clearly knows. So now between these two people, architect and another person is worker. Whom do you think more knowledgeable person? Online students. In your point of view, who is more knowledgeable person and more important person in the project?
Architect.
Architect only.
Architect.
See, without knowing the architecture, is it possible for you to construct the building? Yes or no? Generally, you don't have to know as a worker. As a worker, you don't need to know about architecture. But will you be able to construct the building? Yes or no? So now architect will come and tell you this line on compound wall you construct, you will construct. You will not ask him, tell me total architecture. Architect will come and tell you as a worker, you are a worker, please construct this slab roof. You will construct. Architect will come, please construct these 4 pillars here, this much height, this is the dimensions and all he will give you. You will construct or not? You will construct. Okay, so a worker need not to know about the architecture, but architect should know about the architecture. Architect knows about how to design, how everything works. He also knows the construction. Maybe he may be knowing the construction also. Now, being in a position of worker, you are less paid than architect. Yes or no? Online students, yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
not audible. I'm audible, right? I'm sorry. Someone was saying not audible. Others can hear me. Maunika, others can hear me. Okay. So architect is the one who is going to get paid more. Okay. Without knowing architecture, am I able to construct one screen? I do not know what is the architecture of Pega. I'm able to construct one screen. I'm able to run it. I'm able to make a transaction, enter data. The data which I entered is saved into database, but I don't know where it is saved. But I did it. I did my task. Over. Now, without knowing architecture, I am going to be a developer. But knowing the architecture, I am going to be a solution architect who can implement any requirement in the business. In the business application, any requirement you tell me, I'm able to do it. But I'm just a high level worker, like what we have done so far. I will not be, without knowing, as I don't have knowledge about the internal architecture of Pega, I will be less paid. I am not going to be a solution architect who will drive the project. I will always, who will be driving the project? Architects only. Civil engineer, architect will drive entire project. As a worker, you will just work on constructing this and that, this and that. All low-level employees are workers. The high-level employee who is driving your entire project, who knows the architecture of your project as well as Pega rules, process, command, environment is called as tech lead. That is what LSA level, lead system architect level, is knowing about the architecture of Pega. Not only that, best practices. What is the other one? What do you mean by best practices? So what is the best way of constructing a module? One module can be constructed in 3 to 4 different ways. Yes or no? I am asking you to construct a wall. You can construct in 3 to 4 different ways. Each one can consume some amount of material and some amount of time and some amount of money. Another methodology may be less amount of money. Expenditure is less. Construction is beautiful. Okay, best methodology who will find? As a worker, you will not find. No, an architect will find. Be in that position. That's why, as a developer, you need to learn about Pega rules, process, commander, architecture. No one can beat you in Pega world. No one can beat you if you know that. Is it only in one point of view you need to learn? No, there are many different concepts that we are going to learn going forward. Like today, what we have learned yesterday. After this, internal design. Like this, many times we are going to focus on understanding and learning internal design of Pega because you want to become an LSA. Otherwise, it is not required. See, CSA level, CSSA level. CSA means beginner developer. CSSA means senior developer. These two levels generally no need to know architect. architecture. Still, you will be able to work on business requirements that are given to you, but not all. Out of 10, you will be able to work on only 5. Remaining 5 depends on internal architecture knowledge. That requirement, who will implement? Your tech lead will implement. Then you just have to work as a low-level employee. Okay, they will work as a high-level employee and get paid more. Then how you become like them? So when you learn the internal design of Pega. So which one is most important, you ask me? Like learning to create by ourselves as a worker or as an architect? I'll tell you always, learn to understand the design of Pega. So am I not going to be a Pega developer? Can I not be a Pega developer if I'm not going to learn the architecture of Pega? Yes, you can still be, but you will become an employee of less salary paid generally. So you want to reach great heights in Pega to become a solution architect. It is possible only when you have understanding and complete understanding about internal design of Pega. Understand clear, everyone? That's where I'm going to focus now. Listen to me carefully. This is very, very important than our practical. Okay. So now what has happened? Now you are trying to learn what is happening internally. Knowing that you can implement some requirements, you can work on some business requirements. Okay, I have created properties in the last class. Section, flow, action, flow. I executed a flow to make a transaction, and transaction is being made. At runtime, I got a screen displayed. It is allowing me to enter some details. Female, and here I am choosing some details. Email ID, something. So it is allowing you to enter details and click on registration or submit. What happened to this data? So what is happening when you run the flow? This and all, slowly, point by point, we need to learn. Okay, look at here now. See, when we created a flow, we went to process tab. You remember, we went where? Process tab. There we have selected one option, creates a new work object. What is this option? What is object? What is work object? All this we need to learn to understand. See, execution of flow means you are making a transaction. You are initiating a transaction. You go to website, loan website, click on a link, begin or request for personal loan. You click on it. Then what will happen? Internally, flow will get executed. One screen will be displayed. You will submit all your details. Agent will contact back to you to take it further ahead. Yes or no? Same way, execution of flow is making a transaction. For every transaction that you make, will there be any transaction ID? Suppose you go to ATM and withdraw money. Do you get any transaction ID? Yes or no? You get transaction ID. You get transaction ID for sure. Every transaction, suppose you are going to withdraw cash from ATM 10 times you have withdrawn. That means how many transactions you have done? 10 transactions. For all 10 transactions, is it same withdrawal flow or different withdrawal flow? Same flow or different flow? For all 10, same flow. Same. One flow you are running 10 times. One flow, if you run 10 times, means you have done 10 transactions. 10 unique transaction IDs will get generated, and these transactions will get stored into database tables along with unique ID for each transaction. Suppose if you make 10 transactions, in real business, all 10 will get stored into database table, where each transaction will have a unique ID, unique identifier. ID stands for identifier. Shortcut is ID. So 10 transactions will get, okay, I'll write down like this. Each transaction will get stored as one row. One row means what? I'll show you. I'll open database. Okay. I'll open database. One row means in a table you have rows. Table stores the data as rows. 10 transactions means how many rows? 10 transactions means 10 rows. 10 rows. Each row will have a unique key column, unique key value, key column with transaction ID value, transaction ID value. See here, I'll go here. Okay, let this be open meanwhile. I'll tell you now. So coming back to this. Now, what is this option? What this option is going to give us? If I do not select this option, what will happen? I selected it actually. In the last class, after we create flow, we selected it. And then we saved it, we executed. We were able to get the run option. When we select the checkbox, we will get run option. If you do not select this checkbox, you will not get run option. But I did not select the option. Did I select that now? Still I am getting or not? So I am giving you one statement. Functionally, I am trying to explain this option. When you select the checkbox, creates a new work object, then only you will get a run option for your flow so that you can execute. But even without selecting, I am getting it. Then what is the purpose of making that statement? I'll explain. So to tell you that, go here to the diagram. So on the left hand side here you can see draft on. What do you see? Draft on. This means that the flow which you have created currently is in draft mode. Currently is in which mode? Draft mode. So am I audible, online students? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Someone saying it's not audible. Okay, see here now. Draft on. Okay. Okay, I'll ask you general question. Okay, you are purchasing a land and you want a documentation to be ready for your land. Okay, and you gave it to some writer. Writer said that you went to writer after 3 days and okay, writer came to you after 3 days and giving you a document saying that, sir, this is a document related to your land information, okay, which you are going to purchase. This has been in draft mode. This is still in drafting phase. Please review and let me know. What does he mean by draft phase? There. Draft phase means what? What does he mean by draft phase? This document is still in drafting only, sir. Please review and let me know. I will finalize it after some time. What does it mean? Work in progress, not at finalize. Draft is something which is not a real one, which is not a real one. It's like in a drafting phase, you correct it and all do. Once everything is done, we'll finalize. So every flow that you create by default will have draft mode enabled. That means the flow is in draft mode. The flow is in which mode? Draft mode. Draft mode. Okay, you are getting one warning message. You can see yellow color. Review or edit. You don't have to deal with this as of now, but I'm just showing you. It says the same thing. This flow is in draft mode. Draft mode suppresses most of the errors. Up to this only we need to understand as of now. Remaining part I'll tell you later. It is saying that this is a draft mode. It suppresses errors, means even though errors have to be thrown, it will not throw any errors. Even if you do wrong something, it will not throw any errors because it is in draft mode, not at finalized. Draft flow is a dummy flow just for a demo purpose. After you are done with everything, a developer should turn off the draft mode. A developer should turn off what? Draft mode. Look at here now. Actually, in the assignment shape outward connector, we need to call flow action. I am removing, I am not calling. Is there any star icon? Star means mandatory. No star icon, no red color star. submit, saving this. I am able to save it without any issues. Actually, assignment shape outward connector purpose is to call the flow action. I did not call flow action. Flow action option is empty. Still I am able to save the flow. Understand? I am going to turn off the draft mode. As of now it is on. I'm going to off it. Click on this off. The moment I turn off the draft mode, it is throwing one error. What is the error? Flow action value cannot be blank for outgoing connector of assignment. Assignment shape outgoing connector value cannot be blank at flow action. It is now showing mandatory field. It is now showing mandatory field. Actually, this was the error suppressed because the draft mode was turned on. Because the draft mode was turned on. Understand clear, everyone? This is one interview question. That's why I'm taking this much time. Now I call the flow action. Down arrow, customer details, flow action, submit. Am I able to save it or not? Now draft flow. What is draft flow? Interview question. Draft flow is a dummy flow just for demo purpose. Once we create a flow, it will be in draft mode. You select all the options which are needed. Finally, you save the flow and finally you turn off the draft mode. Okay. So everyone clear about that draft flow? Coming back to process tab. So far everyone clear? One interview question I am writing.
Yes.
August 20. August 20. So August 20 interview question is, what is draft flow? One question is covered now. They may ask or they may not ask. Okay. What is draft flow? That's one question. Can you tell me, any one of you try to answer now itself? What is draft flow? If they ask interview, what you will tell? A draft flow is a dummy flow for demo purpose. Draft flow suppresses errors. Draft flow suppresses errors. Now you see, coming back to first point, creates a new work object. I said you that if you select this option, then only you will get run option under action menu. Otherwise, you will not get. Now I did not select. You remember previously, even though we did not select, we got run option no. But now I did not select and I am saving this. I am not getting run option. I'm not able to run the flow. Why this is not showing now? Simple. Draft on.
Draft is on.
Even though you do not select, it will show. So for a dummy flow, whether you select the checkbox or not, no matter. I am telling you this option with respect to real flow, not a draft flow. For a non-draft flow, real flow, if you want the flow to be executable, you want run option and flow to be executable, then select the option creates a new work object. Then only you will see run option. Now you are seeing SR. Online students, are you following? Hope you are following. Actually, these are the things which you need to fully focus to understand. Not so simple, not so difficult at all. If your focus is missing for 2 minutes, everything will be gone. Okay. So I'm able to run the flow. When I select the option, creates a new work object. So creates a new work object option makes your workflow to be executable by providing run option. Understand clear, everyone? Every one of you. Another question. What is creates a new work object option in flow? What is its purpose? Okay. Answer, did I tell you or not? Did I tell you answer now? Yes or no? Just a minute back, did I give you the answer? I have given you the answer. That is, this option makes the workflow executable by providing the run option, so that you can execute the flow, make it run.
Sir, there is a question. Sir, in the draft flow, right, you see the run option. So if you click on the run option, also the screen will appear, right? Or what will happen?
That's
because
what,
that's a demo.
I am not going to talk about draft mode in
Okay.
comparison. This option always I think about real flow. Okay, clear everyone? Now you are executing the flow, you are running the flow, executing. What is happening afterwards? Okay, see here. Now, when we run a flow, what is this option saying? Create new work object. I will tell you what do you mean by work object technically after some time, but you understand like this. I will tell you one example, simple example. You know about tennis ball? You know tennis ball with some sort of fur on it, right? You know tennis ball. Imagine yourself, you are playing. You have a tennis ball in hand. Okay, it is a wet ball. It is a wet ball. Maybe you have doused it into water. Okay. Now you are at a place, sand is there. Okay. Now you are going to roll the ball. Okay. From your place to some distance. When you roll the ball like this on sand, which is like the tennis ball, which is wet, it reaches its destination someplace. So what happens to the tennis ball when you take it? After you throw it some distance, you roll it some distance, and you go there and pick the ball. What do you find out on the ball? What do you find out on the ball? Sand particles. Sand particles are being now collected by whom? Collected by ball. Ball has collected sand particles as you have rolled it. As you have rolled it. Correct? Keep that in your mind. This, as of now, for your understanding, this ball is object. Ball is what? Object. Object you are rolling means transaction begins, object will get created. That object we are calling it as work object. We are calling here as work object. When you execute a transaction, when you execute a flow, transaction is initiated and internally work object is created, which is virtual. You cannot see. Which is virtual means what? Cannot see, but it is there. You cannot see, but it is there. Okay, clear everyone? You know about virtual reality, right? Virtual reality is something is it's there, but you do not see it actually. I mean, like it's not a physical one. Okay. The moment you execute a transaction, imagine internally one ball is created in Pega. That's called work object. Suppose if I execute flow 10 times, how many work objects will be created? 10 work objects will be created. Okay, so now here you go. Flow is here. When you execute the flow here, work object gets created. Work object travels through the flow. That's what I'm rolling now. From start shape to till end shape. You are learning the design of Pega. On its way to get resolved. On its way to get resolved. So on the sand, there is a hole. There is a hole in the sand. Okay, your aim is roll the ball and so that it has to get into that particular hole. So when you roll from here, it has to reach the destination. Once it reaches the destination, over. Game is over, right? You win. That's why. When work object created here, when work object reaches the end shape, means what? Transaction is resolved, completed. Resolved, completed. It's completed. In between, it is collecting sand particles. No, in between, it is collecting the data. It is collecting the data. Now work object is created. But where is the work object now? It's not there at the beginning. It got created here. It has moved from this place to first step. Step 1 to step 2. Sorry, step 2. Step 3 is there. 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. Work object gets created at the beginning of transaction, travels through the flow by reaching each step till end shape on its way to get resolved. On its way to get resolved. Now work object is presently at this particular green color assignment step where it is displaying connected flow action in the UI. Connected flow action in the UI. Understand? Able to understand everyone? Are you clear, every one of you? Following, yes or no? Because I want to know whether you are able to follow me or not with my examples are reachable to you or not. Then only I can come up with best explanation.
Sir, if you don't mind, can you please repeat one more time, sir?
This one, right? Transaction begins.
Yes, yes.
When you execute a flow, transaction begins. When transaction begins, work object gets created internally. Work objects travels to the flow step by step till end shape. On its way, to get resolved. To get resolved. When it reaches an assignment step, it will display the connected flow action. You will enter the data, no? You will enter data here. Okay, you enter some data. Done. Submit this now. What happened to this data? Table it is getting stored. That is okay. I'll tell you that again once again later. But this tennis ball, when you roll, no, sand particles are collected to it, right? It has collected all the sand particles same way. Work object is now rolling, waiting at one place. You given sand particles to it. You given data. Data is collected by work object. Now data went and attached to work object. This object is getting stored into table. Object is getting stored into table along with the data. Along with the data. Look at the diagram. Diagrams and work object. No, see, I'll open one diagram just for your information. Open with Paint. Okay, see here. This is what I'm explaining. Now this thin line circle is there, no? This is work object. Thin line circle is work object. When you execute the flow, execute the business flow, this flow has how many shapes? 5. Start, end, apart from that 3 other assignments. These 3 screens are there one after other. First you execute the flow, work object created. Work object which is created. Okay, give me 1 minute. Where is my mouse? Mouse I'm not. Okay, work object created. So now from here, work object has reached first step. Screen displayed. You enter data. Data which you have entered is collected by work object. And then it jumped to second step when you click on submit. Second screen displayed. Screen after screen. You enter data, some data here, submit. It will go to where? Third screen. Enter some data here and submit. End, completed. Where is this data getting stored? This data is getting stored into table in the backend. Some table we don't know. But the table we generally call it as work table. What is that we call it as? Work object gets stored into work table. Understand the terminology you need to understand. Work object, work table. Where is it? 690. Work object, there is one terminology, gets stored into work table. Into work table. Work object gets stored into work table. Star mark. Understand clear, everyone? Along with the data. Along with the data. Okay, work object created, that's okay. 10 transactions you made, 10 work objects created. How do you differentiate between each work object? Otherwise, how do you uniquely recognize each work object? I have 10 students in the class. How can I uniquely recognize each student here? By your ID. Same way, each work object is going to have an unique ID assigned by Pega. Pega will only do that. We don't have to take care of it. That is called work object ID. You are seeing the same here. C-14003. One more transaction I will make. C-14004. Each time you make a transaction, Pega is generating a sequential numeric number which has a prefix of C-. Data storage part, I will come to that once again. Okay, just give me a few minutes. Okay, now point by point we'll go. Work object, each work object gets a unique ID. Unique ID called as what? Work object ID. See, you need to learn different terminologies. Okay, work object is also called as case. Is also called as, in Pega, if I say work object or case, both same. If I say work object, if I say case, same. Okay, work object ID is equal to case ID. I say case ID or work object ID, both means same. So a unique work object ID will be generated by Pega, and work object ID has by default has two parts. Has what? Two parts. Okay. Work object ID prefix that is equal to C dash. C dash together is prefix. Don't think like C is prefix, dash is separator. No. C dash is prefix and sequential numeric number that is equal to maybe something 1, 2, 3 or it's not like 1. Let's say 1, number 1. So total object is work object ID is C dash 1. What is the total work object ID? In C dash 1, what is prefix? C dash. What is numeric number? 1. Together prefix plus sequential numeric number is equal to work object ID. So work object ID format is equal to work object ID prefix, not format, value is equal to prefix plus sequential numeric number. These two together will be total work object ID. Some people are asking so many questions. Will the data be stored? I will tell you later. Did not get the difference between transaction ID and work. Both are same. Transaction ID is equal to work object. Here in Pega we are calling it as work object ID. That means transaction ID only. Transaction table, work table same. Transaction table or work table same. I'll write down. You are saying work table now. Where is it? Work table. Work table is also called as transaction table. Work object ID you call it as transaction ID, no problem. These are very basics. Are you clear so far? Are you clear so far? Everyone. So I'll tell you one important point to understand. Important, I'm mentioning important point. Listen to me carefully. Here in the diagram, you see 3 assignments. How many assignments you are seeing? Means how many screens are there? 3 screens are there. At each screen you will enter data. Each screen the data you enter will be collected by work object, yes or no? It will get attached to work object. Now I have executed a flow. Work object is created. Work object is created. Okay. Is it stored? It went to first screen. By the time it go to first screen, has it been stored into table as a record or not? Yes, it is stored. Yes, it is stored into table. Initially, work object ID generated and gets stored into table as a record. So far, only ID value stored. Data is not there. Understand? Next, first screen display. No, you entered some details. You clicked on submit. Now this data will get attached to work object. No, now work object will go and store into work table. Is it like one more record or same record? Already C-1 is there in the table. It will get updated. It will get what? Updated. It will get updated. Means in the same record, already C-1, one record is there. In the same record, some additional data will get added. First screen after. Okay. You submitted, work object came to second screen. In the second screen, you have entered additional details, some other address details. Now address details will get attached to work object. Work object will store into work table. Already in the work table, C-1 is there with customer details. Now little bit more data gets added in the same record. Address data like this. At every step, work object will get updated. Okay. At the first step of transaction, work object ID, work object gets stored into table as a new record, with its ID, from second step to till last step, step by step data will get updated into same record of that particular work object. So if you make second transaction, C-2 will be created. C-2 will be added as a new record, or it will be same record as C-1. New record. For each work object, one record. C-2, step 1, step 2, step 3, data will keep on get added. So first time insert will happen into table. For every new work object, first insert will happen into table. Going forward, updates will happen. Going forward, what will happen? Updates will happen. This point, are you clear? I will show you work table. Hey, how do you open, in your case, how do you open this environment? I will give you one document. See, I will tell you one point before you proceed. Otherwise, you'll get confused a lot. Our topic is somewhat over. This is not related to our topic, but it is information to you. When you install Pega, this pgadmin4 database installed, tables created, everything is there. See, how do you access database? You need a visual user interface. Do you need a visual user interface, sir? I want to access database and tables. I want a visual UI editor to access. That editor is also installed when you install Pega. From that editor, you need to make a connection to the database to see it. Movie is there in pen drive. I want to watch the movie. I need an editor. What is editor? Screen. Pen drive has movie. Screen is editor. How can I watch the movie? I have to connect my pen drive to the device, yes or no? Without connection, is it possible to watch? So you did not connect. Do you say movie is not there? Movie is not there. Do you say movie is there? You connect or not? Database is there. Why are you connecting? To visually see. Movie is there with me. Editor is there with me. When I connect, I can see it. Yes or no? Everyone. Online students. Now you need to know the steps to make a connection from the editor to the database. That's the, see, you don't get confused. Why I am so particular here is you are not installing database while doing this. You are just making a connection to the existing one. You're just making a connection to the existing one. Hey, come here. Now that connection steps I will give you. See here. See, once after this editor is there, no. This is database, you will see servers. In my case, I'm seeing so many databases. I'm seeing what? So many databases I'm seeing. Many. I created 6 so far. In your case, you will never see anything. You will see how many? 0. See, this you want only when you want to visually see database. Otherwise, you don't have to follow this. To do that, right click on servers, register server, and name. Give anything of your wish. Name is your wish. I have given Pega 87. Pega 87. Like this, I have given. You give 88.
Sir, from where we open the Pega admin, would you show that we didn't go to it?
I did not show you how to open this editor. I'll tell you. Don't worry. I'll tell you. After this editor is open, I'm talking. Okay. Connection. Host name. Remember, you installed on local host. This must be local host. It should not. See, here name can be anything, your wish. ABCD XYZ. Connection local host. 5433. All of you followed the same. This must be 5433. Password is, username is what? Postgres. No. Copy this username. Paste here. Save password. Save. Once you do this, what will happen is, here you will see 87. Expand it. You will see databases, only one you will see. How many you will see? 1. What is the name of that? Postgres. How did I open this editor? Click on this Windows search, pgadmin. This will open the editor which you have installed when installing Pega. If you are not getting here, suppose not getting here. Another place is there to open. I'll tell you. So after you open, after you come to database, no, you will see Postgres, expand Postgres. See the navigation, expand Postgres, then expand schemas inside that. Then expand data public rules SQL. Data schema. Okay, you came into databases, Postgres, schemas, data, and thereafter tables. Expand tables. Here you can find out the table where your work objects are getting stored. That is work table. I'll tell you one hint. Table name starts with PC. Table name after PC, no, after PC, table name will be same as this name. LIC auto I work. See, that's a hint for you. PC underscore GHIJKL LIC PC underscore LIC underscore LIC auto I underscore work. Same name, no, hint for you. Right click on the table, view data, first 100 rows, just like that. So far, how many times I have executed my flow? Those many work objects would have been created. How many work objects have been created so far? Those many rows will be available here. I maybe knowingly or unknowingly, so far I have executed my flow 10 times. How many work objects created? 10. You can see here. C dash 14,003, 14,004. Go here. One important column in the table. Table will have columns, no? Important column I'm going to tell you. Column name is PYID. You should not read it as PyID. PYID. PY you need to read it as alphabets only. ID. PYID column holds work object ID value. In work table, star point. In work table, work object ID value gets stored into a predefined column. A predefined column by name. Interview question. PYID. By name what? PYID. Where is interview question? What column in work table stores work object ID value? Answer is there with you. I have already given the answer. Yes or no? Follow the video and draft it if you want. Otherwise, in the theory document also it is there. Just research is important always, not by heart. No by heart, nothing. Okay, now this is what we are trying to learn to understand the internal design of Pega. Did we create this table? Our work table has got created. Work table has got created while we create application. While we create a new application. So we landed at some point now. Some meaningful point we can stop. Now I'll summarize. Listen to me carefully. When we execute a flow, a work object gets created. Each work object can be uniquely identified by an ID called as work object ID. Work object ID can also be called as case ID. Work object ID has two parts, C dash, which is prefix, work object prefix and sequential numeric number. Example, C dash. Each work object that is created will get stored into Pega rules rule base into a table which is called as work table. Every work object stores into the table as one record, where work object ID gets stored into a column called as PYID. PYID. These are the points we have covered. Everything you should know if you want to be a developer. Without knowing this, there is no meaning of learning Pega. Okay, if someone is going to come and ask you what happens when we execute a flow, you should start telling all these points in a proper order, in a proper manner, in a clear-cut explanation. That is, when we execute a flow, a work object will get created in the background. Work object can be uniquely identified by an ID called work object ID. Work object ID will have two parts, work object ID prefix and sequential numeric number. Example of work object ID is C dash. Each work object created is going to get stored into backend table called as work table. In work table, work object, each work object will occupy one row space, one row. Okay, if work table has 10 rows means 10 work objects are there. That means 10 transactions data is there. Every work object ID will get stored into a column called as PYID. This is how step by step you need to explain in a proper way, which is understandable to others when they ask the questions in interview. Okay, everyone clear? Online students so far clear? This PYID is very, very important. See, if I make a transaction, see, you are making so many transactions of money deposit, withdraw like this. You wanted to know, you're a customer of bank, you wanted to know what are the transactions I have made in past 3 months. I think you should have knowledge about this, right? What are you doing today? If you want, like, if you have any requirement like this, imagine yourself, you need to submit a bank statement to your company last 3 months. For that, what are you trying to do? Can you tell me? You will log into your net banking. There you are clicking on request for transaction history. There you are choosing a period. Period means last quarter, and then submit. Once you click on submit, what is happening? The transactions which are stored in the database permanently since long back, out of all the transactions, only last 3 months transactions are being identified and displayed in UI. Can any one of you tell me generally how only last, see, since past 5 years you are using, all 5 years transactions are there in table, but only last 3 months, how the system able to uniquely recognize last 3 months alone? How it is recognizing uniquely last 3 months transactions alone? Any one of you tell me, general knowledge question, this is not related to technology. General question, no?
Based on timestamp.
What timestamp? Timestamp, okay. Based on what timestamp? What is the timestamp related to?
It's a custom
Last
date.
week.
Transaction
ID.
made, date and time. Transaction you have made on some date, no? That date. Transaction creation date and time. Yes or no? Simply speaking, work object creation date and time. Yes or no? Work object creation date plus time. If you did not store transaction created date and time into table, is it possible to fetch last 3 months transactions? Is it possible? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Not possible. So
Cannot fetch it.
it's not possible. Last 3 months you cannot fetch unless there is an ID. There is a date and time stored along with ID. So
Yes.
it's very much essential. You design any transaction model in this world, it is very much essential that along with the transaction ID, you also store its creation date and time. How do you know creation date and time? Is it something you will just draft it? No. It is running on some system, no? Server date and time, it should take at runtime and give it to one property. I mean, like one column, store in one column. This is very much needed in every business. So in Pega, you don't have to do anything separately for this. Pega will automatically do all these things. Pega is going to automatically do all this. So transaction creation date and time is going to get stored. Important columns, I'm introducing you important columns, is going to get stored in a column called as PX create date time. Learning the internal design of Pega. Work object creation date and time. Creation date and time gets stored into a column, that is equal to PX create date time. So automatically Pega will read the server date time, it will show this column also. Say 2 columns you have left. In work table, how many columns you have learned so far? We will see how to handle multiple time use. That is not required now. Just please focus on this part. Don't go too much beyond. Okay. Now, okay. Next, I will tell you one more. Now, I will tell you column. You tell me what value it will. The column is this time. Column is PX create operator. PX create operator. Can you guess and tell me? This text I will change.
Who has created that word object?
Name.
Operator ID
The
of
operator
who
who
created this work object. Means who initiated transaction. Last shares. Who initiated the transaction? I want to know. See, you have a loan application. Some problem. Hey, who initiated this transaction? I want to know. Now, how would I know? See, otherwise, I want to give some commission to each loan application processed successfully. After processing successfully, payment is received. I want to send the commission. I have to retrieve which transaction, which loan application is created, initiated by which agent. That agent ID, operator ID. I want to store or not. That will be stored in a column called PX create operator. PX create important columns I am giving you. You should know these things. Okay. So I will write down one interview question. Tell me, please tell 5 important columns of work table. Please tell 5 important columns of work table. You have to tell all these 5 columns. The next column is, I'll just extend for 2 more minutes. We are done with 2. Once we are done with 2 more columns, that's over. Okay. This time, PX update date time. What is that? PX update date. Can you guess? Update date. The last update date time. Last updated date and time of work. Means when last updated. When last updated, that will be stored into PX updated. Next one. One more. It will be more. See, PX create date time is always fixed. PX create operator is always fixed. PX update date time is ever changing. Changing time to time, modifying modifications. 5 times means latest date time will be there. Last updated date time. Okay. PX update operator. The last updated operator ID of work object. Okay, who updated latest? So this PX terminology is there, no PY prefixes. You'll be learning after some time. Only up to this is pretty much fair enough. It is not yet done. We are not yet done. Tomorrow I will continue with this. Tomorrow I'll continue from here. Understand clear, every one of you? Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
See, I want you to be ready for the mock interviews. Are you ready, every one of you? Did you book your exam? Sorry, did you book your mock interview today?
Yes, sir.
I told you already 5 days back. New joinees, you don't have to book. I'll tell you how to do it. Those whoever has booked, you have chosen some time interval, right? Between them. Make sure you do not miss the call. And don't tell them that I am outside, I am here, I am there. Okay, make it possible within next 5 minutes if you are missing it or if you are not in a comfortable position. Okay, clear? But give your interview and I will conduct some extra sessions. Let's say, for example, this Saturday, I will conduct one session morning, this time only, same time, additional session, where I will be sitting as interview candidate. You ask me questions, I'll give you questions. I'll give you one day before all questions. All of you should ask me one question. I will tell you answers to the question. But why I am doing this? You need to learn the way of answering, how fluent you should be while answering, and how you should use the technical words while answering. Like this, that methodology, the way of answering you need to get apart from what is the answer. What is the answer? Understand clear, everyone? So I will be sitting as a candidate this Saturday, 8 o'clock. 1 hour you ask me 60 questions. Whatever we have till we are going to get till Saturday, all that questions you ask me, I'll answer one by one. Try to learn. Okay, this is how we need to answer in interview. Try to learn that approach of how to answer in interview. Okay, make sense? That's the importance of that session. Okay, so that you will get answers for all questions also. In a proper way of answering is very, very important. Your voice modulation is important. The way how you fluently express it is important without struggling a lot. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you for joining everyone. Okay, I'm going to share these documents in few minutes in your Google Classroom, and video will be uploaded after an hour or two. Okay, thank you.